Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
Hey gamers, happy Easter.
Hey gamers, as is the new motto. How's your hair doing, guys? Because Jake, you look like you got quite big hair now. I've got big hair. I've got massive hair.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well,
the volume on this is just unmanageable.
I used to cut my own hair. Quite happily could go back to it if I so wish. But I thought, nah, just leave it for a little bit. And then, do you know what I do? I'll cut it just before I have to go out. When it's over, when it's all over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually had to go into work on Thursday, and I had, I had a letter and everything to say that I'm a key worker.
The government mandated paperwork allowing you to leave the hovels.
So in case the fucking Gestapo stop me and say, where are your papers? I've got the documentation to prove it. But I was so like, it was such like it was a weirdly like big thing. Like it was.
Your hair?
No, well, yeah, it is big. Like we've covered that, but I just was thinking about it for like 2 days before, maybe, and I've only been like stuck in the house for like 2 weeks, really, if that. At that point, and I was thinking, I'm looking forward to leaving the house on Thursday. I'm looking forward to like driving to work. I got to fuel up at I can get some fuel in a car and shit. And what am I going to wear? Like, I make sure I got some clean clothes. Like, do you know what I mean?
You're saying it's like a novelty.
Absolutely. There's about 4 people in the whole building. It's a massive building. There's about 4 people in there. So I didn't even see anyone really, but it was just like, leaving the house. It's just really strange how quickly it's become a notable thing,
I guess so, yeah. I am, yeah.
But where have you been? Where have you been apart from walking to the supermarket?
Walking my dog, and it's the same as every week.
So have you been anywhere like in your car? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's true. I did. So I'll admit it. The very, very beginning of this whole official lockdown, I did take a non-emergency trip to my next town to try and buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare for £15 cheaper than I should have. But it was in a car, so I was basically contained. And then I went to a supermarket, so it wasn't like, I was like throwing a barbecue for 100 people. I just wanted to get Call of Duty. Yeah. And I failed as well. So I did a 40-minute round trip in my car to buy some £2 McCain's home fries. Other chips are available. And that was it. So other than that, though, but like I said, basically, I've had Final Fantasy VII for 2 weeks. So, the world could be on fire and I'd be like, oh.
So I wouldn't have known, if it wasn't for Resident Evil and Final Fantasy this past week, I wouldn't have even known anything was different in the world, to be honest. I've been quite happy.
This is so much.
Mike, I'm sure there's people out there who are proper, like, there with you. But I think you're just talking to the wrong team.
Yes, there are, mate.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, 100% of this Discord call isn't. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know you're right, but...
It really it hasn't bothered me. Like, I've seen so many people online going stir crazy. I've been fine. Yeah. It's really not affected me in the slightest.
It's affected me going through my Twitter timeline because I've seen all of the game journalists I work for are just posting their subscription craft beer collections.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing's annoying me. And there's a lot more like smug exercise at home selfies. Like I don't care that you've got a yoga mat sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk about Valorant like everyone else or whatever.
We're very different people, I think it turns out, because I've not. All I've seen is people complaining about not going out, and no one. I wouldn't even have heard of Valorant if it wasn't for you.
Well, exactly. It's because my full-time job is working with streamers, and Valorant is the biggest thing to happen in streaming by a fucking mile. I'm going to put this into perspective for you right now. When Fortnite was at its peak, remember in 2018, yeah?
Yeah.
The highest it got in 1 week watched was 64 million hours watch time on Twitch, yeah? Fortnite at its peak. Valorant, in the past 4 days, has had 111 million hours watched.
Damn.
Right? It is fucking massive.
But are you telling me this is the new Escape from Tarkov?
But no. It's skewed though, right? The reason that it's so big is twofold. One, it's kind of an esport in the making. Yeah, it's the Riot Games, the people that make League of Legends. It's their, like they announced like a couple of years ago that they're going to be bringing out loads of new games. They had this card game that I'm hooked on, Legends of Runeterra, right? There's going to be a lot more on that in the next coming weeks. I'm living and breathing it. I was literally playing a game before this. And then there's League of Legends, of course. And then they've made Valorant, which is like a proper like CSGO Overwatch style thing. But what they do is, which is kind of cheeky really to skew their numbers, the game's a closed beta. And all the big streamers were invited. And to get in as a scrub, as a normal human being, you have to watch the streamers, and there's a chance every hour that you'll get a key just by being a viewer. So the numbers are insanely skewed. Like I know a streamer and he averages about 50 viewers concurrently. He was playing Valorant the other day, 800. Do you know what I mean? Right. But it's not. It's all bloated. It's not true at all. But it's going to be interesting to see this game go, because League of Legends is the biggest like esport in the world. It's the longest running esport in the world at that level, and it's a MOBA, which not many people are that into MOBAs. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people, even on a casual level, like we've all been playing Call of Duty a lot, it's a first-person shooter. This is a first-person shooter. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more easy to pick up, I guess. Even though the skill gap is super high, like there's levels to it. I feel like it's going to do really well, basically. But we'll have to wait and see. You'll see it loads in the. I think the open beat is next week or the week after. But this is the year of Riot Games, I reckon. They are smashing it. League is bigger than ever. Runeterra launches in 2 weeks, and Valorant is just like there. But the whole thing I'm trying to say is, it's the biggest thing in the world, numbers-wise. You haven't heard it, Mike, have you? You haven't even heard of it.
No.
And you do a gaming podcast. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so I've not heard of a lot of stuff.
So unless you're into this one specific subset of things, if you're like a gamer, then doesn't mean it's not like like Red Dead Redemption 2. Everyone knew it was coming a mile off. Yeah. It's right here.
It does feel like certain games are like scene kind of games, like SC. So it's part of the fucking thing, and then outside. Yeah, exactly. Then outside of that, perhaps they just don't reach too far. I think even things like Apex Legends and shit like that, they're massive, and then there's a big conversation about them. But then, my brother plays a lot of games, and he does play some games, and he didn't know what it was. I had to tell him what it was, and I was explaining. Well, Fortnite. Well, Battle Royale in Call of Duty. Well, it was like that, but it's still going. But it's it's a bit different. It's faster. There's characters and stuff.
Yeah.
That so there's certain games that just I don't think hit on the same level, even though they may be phenomenon within gaming and within streaming and shit.
I'll be honest, before I started this job, I knew League of Legends was a big deal. Yeah. But I didn't know how big a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it. I even played it. That's it. I didn't know that the prize pools for it are the biggest ever, and it's the most watched thing every single week on the internet, basically. But yeah.
So you mentioned Call of Duty there. We have played a bit of Call of Duty, haven't we? We sort of got into it. We mentioned it last week, didn't we? Modern Warfare.
I think it's secretly been, I think we mentioned it the week before. It's it's snowballing.
We fucking love it, boys. That's the truth. That's the truth of it.
Well, again, I got to say, and I got to give credit where it's due. I remember being in the car with Liam on the way to your house in December, and Liam wasn't just liking it. He was loving it. He was saying oh, it's the best one in ages. And I was like, yeah. But I know that Liam's a fiend for it. You know what I mean? He loves running around with a P90 blasting people. So I was like, that's cool. But I didn't think it was going to be that impactful for me. Yeah. And like I said,
Same here.
It was at the end of the podcast last week, wasn't it? I've had Final Fantasy VII for 2 weeks. But have I finished it? No, because I was playing Call of Duty. I even at one point turned Final Fantasy VII off because I fancied a little bit of Call of Duty. That's the truth of it.
I've not done much of anything gaming wise apart from play the COD campaign, play Battle Royale, play regular COD multiplayer, playing all these fucking different modes like Infected and all this sort of shit. I've just been hammering Modern Warfare, and it's been it's been a lot of fun. It's been really good. I think it's the first time that we as a group have got into
as a collective.
As a collective, it's the first time we've moved into a space together for a certain while. where we've been playing just Call of Duty like pretty regularly, just like hopping on and playing some multiplayer, playing some Warzone and stuff. And I think it's an easy recommendation if you like shooting of any kind, if you like shooters of any kind, it's an easy recommend for me. I mean, it's such a good value proposition between everything.
Do you know what? Yeah, listen to this, right? This is the most I've sounded like an old dad in a while, right? So I in work, like last week or the week before, I've been talking to people. I sent out Persona 5, right, to a couple of streamers because that was my job, and then we're working on some other stuff in a works I can't talk about. But I'm talking to these streamers, right, about upcoming projects, and casually the conversation's been turned into like I always try and not just talk about games I work with. So I'm like, oh, are you looking forward to Final Fantasy VII or whatever? And then I've kind of been ending nearly every email with, have you played that new Call of Duty yet? I feel like just, like, it's like what my dad would text me, Jake, have you heard of this Call of Duty? But I'm messaging just people and emailing them, and at the end I'm going like, oh, have you played, listen, I know that you don't normally do this sort of thing, but have you played Warzone? I feel like just, you know what I mean? Like that, I'm that guy in the pub. Just sort of.
It's good. It's good though. It's fucking good. We've been playing lots of that.
And then I guess tied into the news, they did launch season 3 of that, which is something that it doesn't really matter unless you play it. And even if you do play it, unless you're buying a battle pass like a chump, it doesn't really. It's very limited in what they add.
What is all that though? There's you can't fucking escape from it. That's the one thing about the game. The UI and the whole, all the menus and stuff are just dreadful. Like the information that I want to know, which is who's in my squad with me and stuff like that.
Yeah. And when you say who's in your squad, you very much mean real people, not what's the name of the operator.
Yeah. No. All that, like who, like is Jake and Liam in my party right now, so I can search for a game, right? That stuff is like
it's second best. Yeah.
Relegated behind all of the sales stuff.
Yeah, there's a tiny bit at the top right that says social. Or party 3 out of whatever. But then, you've got all this extra stuff, which is like proper, like, hey...
XP progression bars and shit.
Yeah, it's from it's from Fortnite, this, isn't it? I think, as far as I know, that's the first game, the Battle Pass sort of stuff. And then it's been taken on by, like, PUBG and Apex and stuff. But if you are a Battle Pass holder, you got, like new gun skins that you unlock, like a fucking leopard print or whatever.
Yeah,
you've got
XP tokens and charms that you can put on your gun, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, which is literally like a tacky Blackpool keyring that you put on an AK-47.
Tacky is the word.
It is, and vehicle skins, so you can get a different quad bike to die in. But like the thing for people who are like miserable about it, or grown, you know what I mean? They've added 3 new maps basically. That's the shit that's interesting.
Yeah, and a couple new guns.
Yeah, and they added. Well, this has been like the big talking point, right? They added 4. They added 4-player to the battle royale mode, but by added, it replaced the trios. And then there's been some backlash. And Battle Royale fans know how to moan on Twitter. They're always doing it. Like, I'm not even joking. Before this, I went on Twitter to tweet that we're going live. Trending with 40,000 tweets in the UK. Rest in peace, Fortnite. Because there's a change that the fans don't like. Well, the fans were kicking off about this trios thing. But they actually have put it back in the game now. So now it's an and, not an or. Yeah.
It's straight away as well. So I guess it is diluting the the player base a little bit, splitting people up into different matchmaking groups. But it doesn't. It's Call of Duty, isn't it? There's so many fucking players. Yeah, but it really isn't.
Well, I mean, whenever we played quads, whoever was the 4th in our team, they always just split off and went their own way anyway. So it was like there wasn't really any point to it.
Yeah. So in a way, they were still splitting off the player base. Yeah, very good.
It doesn't have the. I think Apex Legends, that one-button communication thing was perfect. Yeah, and then this is trying to emulate it to a certain degree. It isn't quite as successful. It's not quite as precise, I don't think, and it doesn't. It's not quite as intelligent as the Apex Legends version.
It's annoying. Like sometimes I want to tell you guys I'm going up there. But there's only one button, and then I press it, and then my character's like, "Let's go over there," and I'm like, "No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that." You know what I mean? Now I'm like, guys, I just want to let you know that I'm going up there, but my character's like, "Get over there now!" And
exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
You can hold it down, but it's just like emotes and stuff.
Yeah, useless shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, Apex had it like nailed, but that's still like that's ingenious, and I like that. Yeah, this game has taken that, not done it as well, but at least it's trying.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like it was because if you remember rightly, it was on a different button. Do you remember that? It was up on the D-pad or something like that.
Oh, what? On Apex?
Modern Warfare.
Oh, yeah.
And they've swapped it to like L1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is normally your special grenade if you're playing the other multiplayer mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now to change between your lethal grenade and your tactical grenade...
It's on the D-pad now, isn't it?
Then you have to press up to switch between.
Mm-hmm.
But that's clunky, isn't it?
Yeah, and because it's within the same game, there's two different control schemes, even though nothing else is different. You know, it's still the same shooter, but...
It's pretty much a given it. Most of these games, people do the following. They throw a stun grenade, then they wait about 2 seconds, and then they throw the frag grenade in. Where this, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like scrolling through weapons in the fucking Souls series or something. But yeah, we're playing some after this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. straight back in there after. But apart from that, we've been playing... Well, you guys have been playing Final Fantasy VII, as you've already mentioned. We have had an email about this. Remember, the email address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. This one comes from Jason, who lives on the south coast of Cornwall, which sounds lovely.
Very nice apparently down there.
Penzance. Yeah.
Jason says, Dear Special Moves, I'm a massive fan of Final Fantasy. And even though Final Fantasy VII isn't my favourite, I was still very excited about the remake and had it pre-ordered. Now, I was one of the lucky ones to receive Final Fantasy Remake early, and I've already completed it. Without going into many spoilers, I hated the ending so much. All the events that happen after Midgar in the original are now going to be so trivial and pointless, they may as well just jump straight to the... I don't know if I should mention this.
Yeah, don't. but the ending, right?
It would be interesting to hear Jake and Liam's take on the ending, with them being huge Final Fantasy VII fans. Kind regards, Jason from South.
Let me go first because I need to get this out of the way. I've had it for 2 weeks. I've had it a whole week earlier than Liam. I haven't finished it. I got to Don Corneo's palace. I'm all dragged up and ready to go, basically, is where I'm at. But like I tell you, guys, I can't stress this enough.
Which dress did you get?
It's like some bluey satin. Is it satin one?
Oh, the best one. You get it by doing all the side quests.
Oh, mate. My squat game, magic. So yeah, I fucking got there, but it's because, well, work has been really busy for me, actually. The last 2 weeks have been, like, really, really busy. And then in my off time, because I've got the kids at home and my wife's at home now, like, all day with the kids, I want to try and give her more respite than usual. So I like, just not been playing. I've been playing Runeterra because I've got it on mobile early. And Resi 3 and other stuff. But I've seen some changes, and there's one I think I know, right, already. But I love all the changes I've seen so far, but I guess it's not the end. Liam, you have now finished it, right?
I have finished it, yeah.
What's it like?
So...
And this is no spoilers for anyone listening.
No, I won't spoil anything. So, my overall impressions of the game are I absolutely love it. I love the gameplay. I love the characters. I love the way the world has been realised. I like how the sectors and the slums have been expanded so they feel like actual bustling cities and stuff like that, instead of just, like 1 or 2 screens that they were in the original. And yeah, like, honestly, I'd have to say it is so far probably my game of the year so far. I really did enjoy it, and like the music is beautiful. It's like it's hit that nostalgia so many times. It's great seeing all these areas like redone in modern graphics and stuff like that. And yeah, like there are a few changes to Final Fantasy VII Remake that differ from the original, and yeah, like you'll probably see it in the next few days or so once more people have had time to finish it. But if you go on like Reddit and stuff like our games, the front page is about like 8 different threads that are already variations of discussion about the ending. And I won't spoil anything, but the ending does get a bit funky with some of the story beats they take. I was lucky in that I was able to sort of guess where it was going based on my experience with other Square Enix games, especially games made by Tetsuya Nomura, who directed Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Kingdom Hearts.
So yeah, like Kingdom Hearts and the prequel to Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, like having played that a few times, having seen the sequel movie to Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children. So I could kind of guess where it was going from like the first couple of chapters. I knew there was going to be something different about it. And little did I know, I was actually quite spot on with where it was going.
Yeah.
Yes, like... this new ending has sort of... Bear in mind, it's not the full game. It's not like, you're not fighting Sephiroth in the crater like you do in the original. That does not happen at all. And it's still got 2 more games to go before they wrap up the story.
Right.
So, like, or at least I think they're doing a trilogy. I can't quite remember.
That would be good, yeah. I don't know if we know yet, but yeah, that would be cool.
Basically, what fans are getting upset about is... they changed some pretty key events from, not even from necessarily Final Fantasy VII, they're from the overall expanded Final Fantasy VII universe.
Right.
They changed some key things that happened there, and so now, going forward, the events, they could go anywhere, pretty much. They might not necessarily follow the events of the original Final Fantasy VII. So, like, if you go on the Final Fantasy subreddit and stuff, the community is pretty much split in 2. For some people who are very open-minded about it, looking forward to seeing where it's going, and there's other people who are genuinely like furious about it, like saying Square Enix have betrayed them and how they deserve to go bankrupt and stuff like that. I have seen some very mad stuff from people. Not mad as in like, I'm mad. Mad as in like... Crazy. Yeah, that is genuinely crazy what they were saying. Like, there's people making death threats and everything. It's gone way overboard, to be honest. But like, I can understand why people are upset about the ending. But in my opinion, what they do in the ending is so vague. It just leaves a lot of unanswered questions, and I think that's why people are angry. Because instead of just saying, "Here's the direction we're going," they just leave everything unanswered, and so people have got to stew and wait for like another 4 years or whatever before
that's
next
good though, isn't
game.
it? Yeah.
So yeah, like
I like that. I always like a dickhead artist decision like that though,
Oh yeah.
Like I'm rewatching Sopranos at the moment, and my wife's never seen it. Right? Mm-hmm. She knows about the ending because it's infamous.
Yeah.
But she won't be ready when it happens. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the more you think about that, the better that is, right? And if you don't know about the Sopranos ending, just Google it. Because if you just but it's like that, right?
The game has remake in the title, and the last like hour of the game sort of recontextualizes the whole meaning of remake, to be honest. And to compare it, and this is the most weeby comparison I can make, I'm sorry, it is like a certain Neon Genesis Evangelion film series, where if you know about that, there's a series of films called the Rebuild of Evangelion, which were... The first one was like a shot-for-shot remake of the first few episodes of the series, and then the second one was mostly shot-for-shot, but then went completely off the rails at the end, different. That's sort of what is going on with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
All right. Like, ended aside, like, the game is great, I think.
Honestly...
There's the thing, I almost forgot to say this, because like I didn't speak about it last week, but I feel like it's old news now, because I've had it for so long, for 2 whole weeks. But... it's still like, do you know what I mean? Like normally I try to not talk about stuff in the podcast I've had, but yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. I love the combat.
I love it.
The combat is incredible. Loads of new content and the way that they flesh things out. I love it. I'm a big fan of all the design decisions. Really,
should say that as well. Like people who are worried that this isn't a full game, that it's only going to be like 10 hours or whatever. It took me 32 hours to finish it. And that was with doing almost that. I did all but 2 side quests because you can't, like, 2 of them cancel each other out depending what dialogue choices you make. So I had to go back and do them. But yeah, like it took me 32 and a half hours to 31 and a half it was, sorry, to finish it. So
no one's gonna hold that against you.
No, but it's definitely a full game.
Final Fantasy. How long does it take Final Fantasy VII to be done? About 40 hours, maybe.
Yeah, but I think the first time I played through Final Fantasy VII, it took me like 38 hours to do it. But yeah, like the Midgar portion in the original game, yeah, it's only like 5 hours of that.
Yeah.
And that's what people were worried about.
Well, yeah, it's a weird one because, like, I when I was playing it, I was loving it, but all of the changes that I was loving was kind of bringing new life into characters that you don't see much of. But I don't know if, like, you didn't know Final Fantasy VII already, how much you'd give a shit, and it might seem like filler. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Like very, very early in the game, there's an expanded bit about Jesse. Like, you're not a fan. Well, maybe people do, but that's what I couldn't get my head around. So I don't know if I would jump to recommend it to like somebody who's never played a Final Fantasy before. That's the one thing about the game that was a bit of a surprise to me. Like, I love it, and I think if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, it's like an essential. But if you're not, I don't even know if this is the first one I'd recommend. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think I would either, because a lot of it does hinge on your understanding of the original. And especially like if you, with the whole controversy about the ending as well, if you've never played the original Final Fantasy VII, I don't think you'll have any clue what's going on with the ending, to be honest. Like,
do you also think that people who don't have a clue would be annoyed? Like, if, like, for example, you know, like how a book reader is pissed off that a show adaptations change stuff. Like, speak to a Harry Potter book fan, right, about the Harry Potter film series. That's a conversation. But if you just watch the films at face value, no problem. Do you think it would be like that if you did get to the ending and didn't care? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. I think people who are going into it completely fresh are probably more likely to be happy with it than the die-hard fans who are, you know, already, they've obsessed over every bit of lore in the Final Fantasy VII franchise. Then yeah. It's like, a new fan probably might be a bit confused, but will probably be like, oh yeah, I look forward to the next one. But yeah, it's mostly the hardcore fans who are not happy with the ending. And
what a surprise!
It could have been handled better, I do admit. And when I first saw it, I was a bit like, I'm not sure about this. But like I said, it's so vague that it could go a million different directions at this point. And so you can only wait for the next one to see how it pans out. But yeah, like, overall, I really like the game. I'm just currently doing a platinum run of it to get the platinum trophy. I still love it, like, even just loading up the chapters I've already been through to get, like, trophies in it. It's just like when the music hits, the feeling still gets me and stuff like that.
You don't have to. Do you not have to redo the whole thing again? You can just.
You do have to play through it on hard to get one trophy, but hard only unlocks after you beat normal. So you do have to play through the entire game again. I'm just going for like the little bits, you know, like you can play darts and Seventh Heaven. And there's a trophy for that I missed because I didn't get the high score on the dartboard. So I had to like load up, because you can go back and choose any chapter you want. So
that's cool.
I had to load up chapter 3 to get that. But yeah, I am really enjoying this game, and I am looking forward to seeing what they do with the next one, because as far as I know, there's going to be another, I think, 2 games at least in this sort of remake, whatever it is.
Gotta be. Imagine doing Midgar as the first game and then the rest of the game as a
second.
Another one. No way. Yeah.
It'd be a bit compromised, I guess, but
it'd be like Game of Thrones, the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, I've already seen the comparisons. People are already comparing it. Yeah, they're comparing season 8 of Game of Thrones to the final hour of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't think it's quite that catastrophic, but you know.
That's quite significant for Game of Thrones, I think, that it's now becoming a comparison for stuff that people are,
for bad endings.
It's becoming a Lost type thing where it's like, oh, it's like the last season of Game of Thrones.
I was thinking about it the other day, thinking about how the ending of Game of Thrones wasn't bad enough, in my opinion, to justify the wipe of Game of Thrones' existence from popular culture discussions.
It is kind of funny how it's just disappeared. No one mentions Game of Thrones anymore. Like, never. You never hear about it anymore, unless it's someone saying, remember how bad that was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I feel like I'm like a Game of Thrones apologist now.
But who goes that first season of Lost? But, people only do that after they've said the ending is shocking.
That's the thing. Like, I've heard a few people say they were sort of tempted to go back and do a Game of Thrones rewatch, but knowing where it ends up, they just can't be arsed anymore.
It is off-putting.
I can't blame people. Like, why would you put yourself through another 60 hours of whatever TV, or even like in Final Fantasy VII's case, why would you put yourself through another 30 hours of game if you know where it's gonna end up and you don't like it or whatever?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I like the game. That's all I can say. I like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good. I think it's good that you both of you were so looking forward to this, like, for a long time, right? Like, since before last year, I guess. I can't remember. But you were like
announced.
You've been but like you've been talking about it a lot for a long time,
I've been looking forward to this game for 5 years or however long it was announced for.
Yeah,
so that's a lot of pressure, isn't it? So
yeah,
but definitely like last year. I remember you guys saying there's nothing now till Final Fantasy VII. All I'm looking forward to now is Final Fantasy VII. You've said that so much over the last sort of 12 months.
Yeah.
And like you said, Liam, you've been looking forward to it since fucking 2012 or whatever. And then you've
E3
been
2015.
You've really set a bar. You've really set a bar for it. So for it to not be shit is really good.
You never get. Like Sekiro is one of them, right? For me, I guess out of all of us, we all like it, but what I mean is I've got the platinum on Sekiro. I nearly reinstalled it because I finished the Dark Souls 3 DLC, and I went, right, what next? I'll go and do Sekiro again. Like I was so excited for that game that when it came out, it was good, but I wasn't like, oh. And then it's after time when the brilliance is shown, because it can never hit that hype at first. So truly my next game that I'm excited for is like on the Final Fantasy VII scope is Elden Ring, I think. You know what I mean? Like, that is going to be that's a book a day off work, get a pizza in, and just fucking do it. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's an event. It's an event game. Elden Ring is going to be and a next gen console. Just going through my fucking UI.
That's it. I don't know what's next now. I've had Resident Evil 3, and that was very good, but also a bit disappointing. I've had Final Fantasy VII. There's nothing else I'm looking forward to, on that scope anymore.
For the year, right, the big ones are obviously Cyberpunk, right?
Ghost of Tsushima, maybe?
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah. I'll get that, and I'll...
I feel like that'll be a quiet one, That'll be like a God of War, where it's sort of but then, when the previews start coming out, a couple weeks before it's out, then people start going oh, yeah, this is something to look for.
Hopefully it's not a... to me, how I feel about it now is how I felt about Days Gone, right? Where, I'm like, all right.
That's the most 6 out of 10 game ever.
I'm way higher than Days Gone. Days Gone is the most... every time it comes up on sale, I go... I think 20 quid, and then I'm like, I have a split second of thinking.
If you really want to play it, Mike, you can lend it off me. I've still got the physical copy. If either of you guys really want to play it that badly, I'll lend it to you.
Thanks, mate. But I think them surprises are the best ones. Are like God of War. I wasn't, really wasn't.
That came out of nowhere for me.
Fucking amazing. One of my favorite games in years.
Yeah. I was looking forward to it, and I remember I was on paternity leave, actually, which means I think the game might have launched 2 years ago to the day, actually, or 2 years ago yesterday, God of War. But I remember, I was on paternity leave, and I was texting Mike literally every hour, have you got an email from Sony? Have you got an email? Have you got an email? Yeah. And that came at a perfect time because, when you've got your baby's just home from the hospital, it just sleeps, right? So I was like, please be good, God of War. You're the only game I'm going to get to play in this scenario. It could go either way. You could have been a Days Gone. It could be a God of War. And it was a God of War, wasn't it? So, with Tsushima, though, the only thing about it is, I've played Sekiro, haven't I? So...
Yeah. It's a weird timing to have so many feudal Japan themed games in such a short amount of time between Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, Neo 2. Yeah. It's like the in flavour at the minute.
Yeah. Like, obviously, I'll definitely get it, and I'll get it day one. We'll probably get sent it, to be honest.
It's the only Sony exclusive left this year, isn't it? Now, Last of Us has been delayed indefinitely. Yeah,
unless that thing we were talking about last week happens, where they sneakily announce it for the PS5.
Oh,
because they're gonna need a launch title. It's not fucking MLB.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what game is anyone looking forward to anything for the rest of the year? Cyberpunk, we're all kind of. It'll be good, but
Cyberpunk's one of those things. I know I'll probably get it, enjoy it, but I won't like be singing it from the rooftops, like, because that's exactly how I felt about The Witcher 1, 2, and 3. I got them, played them, thought they were good games, but I don't like celebrate them like other people do.
It's.
I'm sure it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it, but
I think the marketing has put me off it. I think that's. To be blunt, I think that's what's happened to me. Where they first announced it, I love The Witcher 3, and I love The Witcher 2 as well, to be honest. But then, for them to say, "Oh, we're making a sci-fi open world cyberpunk game," I thought, "Oh, fucking hell, yeah, great, really, really excited about it." And then the more I've seen of it, the less sort of interested I've become. It's because I like Deus Ex, I like Deus Ex, but I don't love it. And this looks a lot like Deus Ex, and Deus Ex already exists. But that's not what's off-putting. It's just that's another sort of ingredient. What's off-putting, I think, is the general kind of aura around it, where you just get the feeling that they're like, "This game is amazing. Let's show you this 1 hour of a minute." You just feels like this.
I'm with you, and this is going to sound like. Bad. Do you know what I mean? If I was a journalist saying this, there'd be articles against me for about 2 years to come. But I know it's a fucking pro-consumer move to show off hours of it, right? But I've seen in person 3 hours of it. I have been there when they were showing it to press 3 times. I would much prefer a 5-minute trailer with a bit of gameplay to really they've not teased you enough of it. The game's good, but the fact that they're showing us of it, it just makes me go, I feel like I've already seen it. I'm already bored of it. So the game is going to be good. Do you know what? I reckon the game is going to be great, and I reckon a week before I'll start getting into it, because they're going to show these trailers, but the moment, I don't give a fuck that Keanu Reeves is in it, and the gameplay is really not polished because it was still work in progress. So
Yeah, but you say that, but The Witcher 3 is incredibly not polished. People forget how fucking janky the game is, really. Even when you play it now, you play, and I'm not talking about the Switch version, which is, not viable as far as I'm concerned as a game. But you play the PlayStation version or the PC version. I own about 6 copies of The Witcher 3, or have bought 6 copies. I'm not even joking or exaggerating there. 2 versions on PC, 1 version on the PlayStation, 1 version on the Switch. I really, really like it, but it is a janky game. So I think there's a good possibility that Cyberpunk will be just the same. And they have to have 2 different movement modes. Think about that. They have to give you 2 different ways of controlling the character, neither of which are that good, to be honest.
I think The Witcher 3 came out at an unfortunate time for me, because at the time I was experiencing a very big burnout on open world games. And then The Witcher 3 came out and had a big map with icons all over it. I think that sort of dented my enthusiasm for the game quite a bit. But I still think it's good.
Yeah, man. I was moving house. When you move into a house and then you've got you change your internet provider over. I had a week and a half with hardly anything out of boxes and no internet, and I probably could have put all the boxes away, but instead I played The Witcher 3. But the thing was, you're right. It did look shy, and well, not shy, but it was janky, but it was fucking good. So maybe, and I'm thinking that's what Cyberpunk's going to be like. It's going to be rough around the edges, but. If you go off The Witcher 3, it's going to be great, but I can't get this excited early. It's not No Man's Sky. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's not many games that can sell me on a dream, really, and at the moment it's From Software stuff, and I don't know. I guess a Total War. If there was a new Total War setting that I would be into, you know. But apart from that, there's not many that I would be really, really excited for. You know, Mount and Blade. I wasn't interested in Mount and Blade, and that was a nice surprise, which is the way I like to do it, really.
What about this, boys? Let me remind you of this little title. How do you feel, excitement-wise, about Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Not very.
I'm excited, but that feels so far away.
It might as well be Star Citizen. That's in my head. That's what it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Any game that promises
I am excited for that. Yeah, definitely. Let's do some emails. There's one that's kind of on this topic, I guess. Remember, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. This one is from Ryan Anderson, who says, "Dear lads."
Nice.
Special moves or hey gamers, but dear lads, you know, that's nice. That can fly.
He knows we've been playing COD.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, this is now the COD pod, isn't it? I'm a long time fan of the podcast, but also a long time fan of the Battlefield games. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind answering a couple of questions regarding the future of the series. Okay, Detective Anderson.
Yeah,
I'll give you my time.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get a new Battlefield game this year? What are your predictions for the next installment in the series? And finally, which direction would you like to see the series take? Keep it real, boys. Love, Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson is listening in the Twitch chat, which doesn't mean anything to the Audio Master Race, but hello, Ryan. Hello. So now we can ignore him again. What do you think?
I love Battlefield. I really, really, really love Battlefield. And this very morning, played Battlefield 22 on the Xbox One, and there was 5 people in the match of Rush that I played.
Nice.
Just wanted to see what was going on back there, but yeah, I fucking love Battlefield. I really like Battlefield 5. Where do you guys stand on Battlefield first?
I'm the same. I really like Battlefield. Like, when I get into it big time. Like, I platinumed Battlefield 5. I was into it that much. And like, honestly, I'd like to see another Bad Company game, you know, but done with modern tech. Like, get Bad Company 3, put it on the Battlefield 5 engine or whatever, and yeah, like, bring back the destruction and stuff like that. I want to see that happen, to be honest, because I like the sort of like Three Kings like narrative of Bad Company, where you just play in a squad of misfits on an adventure sort of thing. You know, instead of the serious modern military, like, come on guys, we've got to take down this terrorist leader to save the world. I like just playing as a band of like screw-ups who are just like, yeah, let's go rob some gold from somewhere. I want to see DICE do something like that again.
I think I was always like a Battlefield guy. I was never like, obviously played Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 and all the CODs before that. You know, I played all the World War II CODs originally and stuff like that. And but I was always a Battlefield guy, really. Like, I loved Battlefield, and I don't think I've ever played any game more than Bad Company 2. I guess that's my kind of MMO in terms of just putting hundreds, if not thousands, of hours into one. It's Bad Company 2, I think, when I was a teenager. But I think I'm with you there, Liam. Like, I think they had, with Bad Company, they had like their own flavor, like their own distinct thing. Whereas since Bad Company 2, it's just felt like they tried COD. In some iteration, there's sense that they've been, since Modern Warfare happened, they've just taken that and they've, you know, that's what they've focused on. They've gone back to like the modern Battlefield, if you remember those like types of games, the original Battlefield, which was 1942, and Battlefield Modern Combat, which was like, I think it was Modern Combat, was it?
Yeah, it was on 360.
There was some like modern.
There's a Modern Warfare and the Modern Combat.
Yeah, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, it's called.
And Modern Combat was first.
It was, yeah.
And it was, and it had like some cool ideas of, you could kind of like warp around the map to different, like if there was a sniper on the roof, I think you could like be that sniper if you wanted.
Yeah. It
was this.
It's actually backwards compatible. That one at the minute on Xbox.
Right, nice. But they had cool ideas. But then since then, you know, even Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, it does feel different. Like, it does feel like it's still a Battlefield game, obviously, but it doesn't. Maybe it's the destructibility, like you said, Liam, or something like that. Since in Bad Company, that was had very good destruct, considering it was running on a 360 and stuff. I think that's what I'd like to see, to be honest, as a new Bad Company. Jake, what do you like with Battlefield? You love it. Playing as a bit of a medic, though.
Yeah, so I played Battlefield 2 at a friend's house. Like, I never owned it, and then Battlefield 3, I think I had access to the beta when a beta meant something. on PC. That was one of my first PC FPS games, right? And it was quite good. And then I fell off, right? Blah 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 blah. And then I played a bit of Battlefield 4 again at a friend's house. I wasn't too fussed on it, but I got Battlefield. What's it called? Is it called Battlefield 1? You know
the World War One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Objective
the World War
Butter.
Oh yeah, I got Objective Butter, Apples and Charlie, or whatever. Yeah, I got the beta for that. Yeah, when betas didn't mean something. And then Sean bought me a copy. Some guy, and we used to work together, and some guy bought 2 copies. So he just sort of was like, "Do you want this?" So I was, all right then. It was cheap, so it was a cheap new game. So I was like, so I thought I'll give it a go. Like, do you get me? I didn't have any hopes for it. It was brand new, and he went, "Do you want it for 20 quid?" Because I've accidentally bought 2 copies of it. So I got it for 20 quid. Yeah. And it was fucking good. Yeah, I really liked it, but I don't really like the old guns. Yeah, I don't really like this whole, because I like you say, I play medic. Yeah, and semi-auto rifles, single shot rifle, these sort of things, sniper rifles, whatever. They're all bolt actiony stuff in that game, and I don't know. But Battlefield 5, I really really enjoyed it. In fact, just before this, I was watching a video just about Battlefield 5 because it was in the news and I didn't know why. But it's just because it's in the news for the reason I could, like, out of all of the reasons it could be in the news, the most boring reason. It's like some players aren't happy with the customization options, so they're redoing the customization options from the ground up. So there'll be different camo available, different moustaches.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's what I would do. I would fuck all that off, all that customization option stuff off, yeah. And I would have Bad Company 2, and I would have, like Liam says, I'd have that kind of, that adventure military type comedy vibe to it.
Yeah, right.
And then, I'll tell you what. I have an endless supply of different character models like Fortnite, but they're all in that military kind of Bad Company 2 kind of vibe. Maybe one's got a mustache and a little beanie hat or something, but just let them choose all that stuff. None of this pink camouflage stuff, none of this lime green camouflage.
But then again, if you were going to put a comedy element in the game, that's the best excuse you've got, isn't it?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. But resist the temptation. Mm-hmm. Let them have character models, okay? Like Fortnite.
Did you ever play? There was a free-to-play Battlefield game on PC called Battlefield Heroes. It was like third, and it looked like Fortnite, like years before Fortnite. Do you remember playing that?
Yeah, you parachuted in, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. But it was like it was like Rush and stuff like that instead of Battle Royale.
Yeah, I played that, Yeah, I think they ported it to 360 actually, as well.
That's they might have done.
I remember that, but I never played Bad Company or Bad Company 2.
They're good.
But again, a friend of mine who we used to spend all of our 360 time together playing Battle for Middle-earth 2. It was his favorite game. That and Dead Space he swore by, and it wasn't Mike.
Fucking
this guy.
Honestly, Bad Company 2 is really good. The Bad Company series was really. They did, like, at the time, they had the destructibility and sound design. It was just amazing. And the way guns and stuff sound amazing now. Like, if you're shooting outside and then you go inside and it sounds different. They were doing that really first, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they did something with it first.
Well, the thing about Battlefield that's the best, right, and no other game comes close to it, is you can get a bunch of knobheads that just don't have any fucking, decorum, nothing. There's no camaraderie. There's nothing. They're all like, just dickheads. The type of people that play Call of Duty, and it forces them somehow. It manages to get in their head enough to work as a team, when you're playing Call of Duty by yourself and you play team deathmatch, no one gives a fuck about you, mate. But on Battlefield, the way that it kind of rewards you by giving you more points, the way that it makes selfish people work together as a team without ever just saying work as a team, and every loading screen doesn't say, hey, remember, if you're in a squad or a team, you can get the way that it just is like, you want to cat B, you'll get more. The way that it brings out the best and the worst people is amazing. And as a medic, a selfless fucking Mother Teresa character, it's great when I have a team that works together. Normally, I get that by playing with friends, but when I'm playing with randoms, like most shooter games, it's a mess. Battlefield, I really reckon it does a good job of that, and that's my favourite thing about Battlefield. And then because of that, it's one of the nicest experiences of like an FPS game for me, to be honest.
It definitely, that seems to be what they've concentrated on more since like the Bad Company days and stuff as well, is they've really the positive and innovative changes in the game are in that department, like making every little action you do, encourage it towards helping your squad out and achieving the objective rather than killing the enemies. Like, even though that's still satisfying and still like you get a lot of points for taking people out and stuff, that's not what the game wants you to do. The game wants you to be supporting each other, pushing up, covering each other. That, and that's how you that's how you play
and in a Fortnite-esque way, they had the building. Can you remember we played the alpha and we were the top player on it was like 64 players in the alpha, and we were the top player by doing nothing but building windows, destroying windows and building them again, and you'd get like just as many points for building a window and killing it.
Totally. It's good fun. I want to see more Battlefield. I wouldn't mind them maybe spending another year on Battlefield 5 and fucking just pumping up with stuff. Like, they've added really cool stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Normandy type
come out with like a full next gen capable one or something.
Bad Company 3 on PS5, man.
Well, so to answer the question that we got then basically about, I don't think we will, because I don't think we've played it, have we? But there's a new 3 maps for Battlefield 5 that was like, was it a month ago or less than a month ago? They've just like islands, some island stuff. No, some jungle stuff.
So Pacific. There's like the big Pacific one, which took the war to like Japan, which was really, really good. Loads of weapons, loads of new character models, maps, just changed the look of the game. Really fucking good. So they've been adding on that with like more like jungle warfare type stuff. I think that's what like the name of the DLC was actually. More of that really. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing some big other new location, and then as a free expansion on Battlefield 5, and then some Bad Company.
Well, the fact that they've just done that recently, like a month ago, they put out the jungle, and it was free, so it wasn't like they were charging to bankroll the next game. I just don't feel like they've got any immediate plans for a release this year, and I kind of feel like we would have heard about it by now. Do you know what I mean? So probably not this year.
Okay, then we could do. There's no new games really this year, so we'll do. I guess we'll do one more email
week.
This year. This week. Sorry, this one is from Jamie in Cardiff, who says, "Dear chaps, that's special moves.
Fucking hell, lads, chaps."
All right. Jamie says, when it comes to playing games on PC, there are now many storefronts, some of which require you to download the launcher to play the game. My question is, do you guys use a list of storefronts such as Steam, Epic, GOG, Battle.net, Rockstar Launcher, etc. to play your games, or do you mainly prefer to try and stick to as little launchers as possible? Have a good day, Jamie. I think this laptop that I'm using now has got about 6 different things on it, I think, like in terms of launchers.
Like different launchers. They don't really bother me, to be honest. But my main motivation when buying games on PC is where can I get it cheapest, usually. Usually that means, like, take Doom Eternal, for example. I bought that from Green Man Gaming, and I got like a 25% off voucher for buying it. But the caveat was it was on the Bethesda launcher, so I had to... But I used that before, because I used it for Rage 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood. So that was the Bethesda launcher that I had installed. Like I've got the Epic Games launcher because of all the free games they give away. And they've got some of the exclusive stuff that I wanted to play on there, like Control, Hades and all that. you can only get them on Epic. Well, Hades is on Steam now, but yeah, Control you could only get on the Epic Store. I've got the Final Fantasy XIV launcher installed for playing that. I've got Steam, I've got GOG Galaxy, I've got the Twitch one as well from all the free games they give away on Twitch Prime. Yeah, I've got so many launchers, but yeah, it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I just go where the games are.
I've got Steam, Epic Game Store, and the Riot Games launcher. That's it.
Oh, I've got Xbox Game Pass one as well.
And Game Pass, yeah. I play mostly on console or Switch or whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, like Liam says, to me, it's if I can save 15 quid by downloading something which takes 25 seconds and installing it on my computer, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Like, especially if I'm gonna complete that game in a week and that's it. Like with Steam, sometimes you can go through your Steam library and go, oh yeah, there's that game. Like I was going through my PlayStation purchases, right, which Mike does every day, and I was doing it for the first time in ages, and I was like, Hitman 2, I forgot I've got that, and then I went and got I wouldn't have remembered that. So I guess if
you download it,
I got listen, mate, I've got Call of Duty and Final Fantasy VII on my 500 gig PlayStation hard drive. I can't even get Binding of Isaac on there.
That's half your space gone on 2 games.
Yeah. I legit, I've got them 2, and I've got Dark Souls 3, which is just like it's on disc, so it's, and that's it. I can't fit any more games because it needed 140 gig space to install a patch for.
What's the hard drive going to be on the new consoles? It's an SSD, obviously, but is it
2 terabytes? I reckon.
They have announced it. Xbox has got a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, which is which I think it's literally just like an off the shelf PC one. What's
that? Gears of War 5.
What's that?
What you've got? Gears of War 5. You've got no space for anything else.
Well, no, Gears 5, to be fair, is only 60 gig. So,
okay.
So you got plenty of space. But the PS5 is weird in that they've made their own SSD, and that's the whole thing. Is like, look how fast our SSD is, and they've been.
Mark Cerny told us all about that, right?
Yeah, and he's been bragging that it's faster than anything you can get on the consumer market today. Like nothing you can get for even PC is as fast as the PS5 SSD. But then the storage is like 825 gig, which seems like a really odd number.
And so, but is that including? Is it going to be like 100 gig knocked off that for all the fucking
for like the OS and stuff?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's why I was asking, because if it's closer to like a 500 gig SSD, there's not, you can't really have many games on there at the same time, really.
Not these days, like.
I mean, the hope is that with SSDs being as fast as they're going to be in these new consoles, that game sizes will be smaller because they can compress them more, and the SSD can read through the compressed data faster.
Okay.
Because I know the reason games are so big now on current gen consoles is because the CPUs in them aren't that great, and like if you compress all the data, the CPU's got to work to decompress all that data, but because the CPUs are so underpowered in the current gen consoles now, they can't afford to spend any more power decompressing data because they need it just to run the game at like 30 FPS or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So like having a box full of paper, instead of having the CPU ruffle through all the paper, they just chuck all the paper all over the fucking desk like this. So it's like 110 gigs.
I know. I think it was Digital Foundry who said it, where game installs are so big now is because there's a lot of just like duplicated files to make it quicker for loading.
Yeah.
So with an SSD, you don't have to duplicate everything. So you can just go, right, I need that bit, got it. And that's it. Where a hard drive has to spend ages going like, I need this bit, where is it? Okay, now I need this bit, where is it? Whereas an SSD can just go, got it all at once, go.
Because this fucking stupid Call of Duty update is 11 gig, but I needed 140 gig space.
Yeah.
Because of the part where it was moving things about. Do you know what I mean? So then after that was done, I could install something again. But then what happens when the next 11 gig update comes?
That's how...
I've not got that many games installed at the moment, but between Modern Warfare and The Division 2, it's It's like 250 gig or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just 2 games, you know. So yeah, it's pretty unsustainable to keep that
making
going.
it bigger. But then the trade-off is with games, be it with next-gen games, like probably being more hitting 4K more often. All the like assets are going to be bigger because they need to make them higher resolution. So it's going to be it'll be interesting to see if they do make games smaller or not. I hope they do, but I don't have much hope at the minute for it.
You'll just have like a PlayStation 5 Pro or whatever, won't you? In like two or 3 years, which will have twice the storage space on it. And
because with the new consoles having SSDs as well, you can't just plug an external hard drive in for more space because it won't be fast enough to run the games. So you
can get those memory cards for the new Xbox, can't you?
Yeah, like the expanded storage stuff. They're quite cool.
Just for that though. That's it. So they're bringing memory cards back, right, for the next gen. At least the Xboxes, anyway.
Yeah,
that's quite funny.
Well, there you go. That's I guess the end of the 76th Special Moves podcast. We haven't got any new games to talk about. No. I mean, there's a couple of things. There's always a couple of things, but
unless you want to talk about the new PlayStation controller, but does anyone care?
Is that out next week?
No, it's not.
Is this our first time where we've had no games?
No. We've had a few. We've had a few quiet weeks.
I'm sure
but it's getting to that time of the console generation, isn't it?
I'm sure there's probably like an indie game somewhere that people are excited for, but it's hard to keep up with the amount of indie games that get released on the daily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just go on Steam front page, guys.
Enjoy.
We'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, if you're a patron, we are going to do a bonus podcast and talk about some TV and stuff, because we've been watching a lot of stuff because we've been stuck in the house all the time. And I've watched a lot more than not good stuff, so don't get excited. But I've watched a lot. Quantity, my numbers are way up. But yeah, that's for patrons only. You lucky patrons. We'll see you again next week for more of this lockdown podcasting with bigger hair, I guess.
Yeah, look out for the hair updates next week.
Yep.
See you later, everybody. Bye bye.